Hey, today I wanted to talk about why I think prompt evaluations and systematically testing prompts in AI-powered products is a really, really interesting line of work. It the the initial assumption is that if you're working on prompts, you need to be really good at prompt engineering. And I think that's true, but in only as far as if you are a writer, you need to be really good at grammar. Yes, you need to be able to copy edit your own work, but this type of checking tenses and knowing where commas are supposed to go and not having sentences that are too long is a very technical type of analysis. And we already have AI tools that do the majority of this work for us. And the value in getting quality copy editing feedback is significant, but it doesn't fundamentally change bad writing to good writing. And in the same way, if you are a prompt engineer and you're working on an AI product, knowing all these little hacks and tricks to improve the output of the prompt, it doesn't fundamentally change the nature of what the prompt is putting out. So I think it's important to learn, and lots of people that want to get into prompt engineering want to know all of the prompt engineering tips and tricks. And there's really good documentation on Anthropic and OpenAI and loads of other places where you can kind of collate hundreds of bullet points of things you should think about when you're constructing a prompt. But just like we have tools that help us with copy editing, I think we're gonna, and we already do have tools that help us develop prompts. So you could just put in a vague idea for a prompt you want, and it will run through a list of best practices and produce like the optimal prompt for that scenario. Great, we have copy editing handled. But in terms of producing a product that produces output that you would say is high quality, you need domain expertise. So I'm working on a little tool that helps me put together lead gen ads on LinkedIn. And I have ideas about products that I'm working on, and I just need it to help me slot all the right bits of information into a really good ad. Now, there's a lot of copy editing type prompt checks that I do where it's like, okay, it should be of a certain length, there shouldn't be any disclosure information in the prompt copy. These are all flight checklist type things. But then there's the question of what makes a good ad, what makes something compelling, what makes something relevant to its audience. And this is more akin to developmental copy editing, where you have an editor who comes in and helps you figure out what you're actually trying to say and where the emotional beats are in your story and increases the valence so that the highs are higher and the lows are lower. And it helps someone stir their reader with their writing. This is a completely different type of analysis. And if you're a good prompt engineer and you're working on a product, you want to be thinking about developing domain expertise in the subject and having strong opinions about how to try and produce that output. So for Facebook, for a tool that helps me write, it's actually LinkedIn ads, I need to be reading courses on how to create great LinkedIn ads, what great means when it comes to a LinkedIn ad, courses, books, talks by people that have strong opinions, and really interviewing people with very specific information. Because I think books and courses are great from getting you to a place from like a beginner to intermediate stage, but then it can take years to develop like specialized pockets of expertise, where it's much easier to just take a journalistic approach and interview someone for 20 minutes about how they unraveled a particular pocket of complexity. So what I'm getting at here is that if you are someone that wants to get into prompt engineering, the initial stage of the work is understanding the technical aspects of how to construct prompts. Yes, but that is necessary, not sufficient. The next stage be- involves developing domain expertise and understanding what the ideas are in a space so that you can start to grade quality and have an opinion on why something is good, in the same way that you would do a literary analysis. And the workload in a week is less about running checks on a software editor and is more about reading books and studying courses in the actual topic space and interviewing people who have interesting ideas in that topic space so that you can codify those principles into evaluations that you then check system prompts against. I think that's an interesting idea. I think it makes the work in this space really interesting, and it's very contrary to what a lot of people trying to get into this space think the work involves, and I thought that was worth sharing today.